Have you noticed the negativity surrounding this British and Irish Lions tour? The dissatisfaction with the performance levels of individuals of the team and the general kind of malaise surrounding the Lions? I certainly have. And I'm going to make the argument on this video that, and to use kind of rugby language, I'm going to try and mitigate you down from thinking the Lions are having a really bad tour to thinking this is just a rugby incident and this is how it goes. But yeah, it's something I've noticed, particularly in the last week or so. There's just everyone seems to have a glass half empty about this tour. You look at newspapers, you listen to podcasts, and it's all about the word underwhelming has been used loads and loads. And this comes around once every 4 years. And I've been so excited about this, and it's here, and I'm going to Australia next week. I'm absolutely buzzing. And I just feel like, and quite a lot of the people that are being the most negative about it are the ones who are being paid to be in Australia following it. For most of us, we're back in the UK and we're not there. And these people are being paid to be in media rooms and all they can do is kind of complain. So yeah, unimpressive wins. Underwhelming is the watchword of the day, it seems. I mean, Andy Farrell has been saying in his post-match press conferences, we must do better. And he's missed out on that kind of statement win in the game so far. But I think there's cause for optimism. I think there are reasons, mitigating circumstances, which explain why the Lions have had the performance they have. And I mentioned this on a video the other day, just to reiterate that. I went through the last 6 tours, and never have the Lions won every single one of the warm-up or midweek games. Never happened before. They've always lost at least 1, often 2, sometimes 3. The Lions have only lost to an international team, Argentina, when it was the first time they'd played together and they were without half of their squad, and they only lost narrowly. So I just don't recognise the level of negativity that there is. And I think, like I say, there is mitigating circumstances for it. And there's reasons why I think you're going to see a very, very different team come first test time. And it all really comes down to that, the schedule. This is why the British and Irish Lions is such a difficult challenge. Because on the face of it, you think, oh, what? It's like a dream team. You get the best players from 4 nations that you're going to wipe the floor with the opposition. No. I mean, if anyone that's played rugby or coached rugby, I've done both, do both, understands that a team beats a collection of individuals every time, especially a motivated team who have bonds with each other that go back years. Like when you see a defense operating really well, the temptation is to think, oh, that's just a really well coached team. Yeah, sure, defenses need to be coached really well, but a massive, massive part in rugby of a great defense is just a motivated group of individuals desperate to look after their mate on either side of them. That is what, when you're absolutely in the pressure cooker and your lungs are burning, that's what gets you back up off the floor, back in the defensive line and off the line again, because you do not want to be the one to let your mate down. And that all comes down to the team and the preparation. And I just want to just have a look at that schedule. I mean, the Argentina game isn't even on that list. You could put that one on. That was the 21st of June, wasn't it? So 21st of June, they have a game against Argentina in Dublin, fly to Australia, Perth, play the game. And then Wednesday, they're playing on the other side of the country. It takes like 6 hours to fly from Perth to Brisbane. You can fly from Dublin to, I'm thinking of the 2 furthest apart in the 6 nations. You can fly from Edinburgh to Rome in what? 2.5, 3 hours max. Double that, the distance from Perth to Brisbane. And a few days later, you're playing another game. Just think about, I know it's amazing that I'm not complaining on the Lions' behalf. I'm just thinking, think about all the faff involved in traveling, getting to the airport, checking your bags, the air when you're breathing, getting off, sat down. And look, I'm not trying to pamper these people. I'm just trying to say it's a really grueling schedule. which now, after Saturday's game, it's Friday as I record this, after tomorrow's game, things get a lot simpler. It's a full week of preparation. And that, I mean, we've heard players talking about how a lot of the training they've been doing is in the classroom, not out on the pitch. They've kind of been talking through it because they haven't had the time, because of all the traveling, to actually go and play through it. And a lot of players are going back to back to back in games. You know, like Alex Mitchell's played in every single game on tour. Look at that schedule. Alex Mitchell has played a part in every single game. And it isn't just about the minutes you get on the pitch, it's about all the warming up, it's about the mental processing that takes to be involved in a game. And Alex Mitchell, as one example, has been involved in every single one. Some players have been going back to back with a 3-day break. Something these players, no players, in fact, are used to. Even at a World Cup, you get a minimum of 5 days now. I think it might even be 6. So this is very, very unique, which is why also the issue of experience, I think, is a really, really important one. And I've talked about this before. I think generally speaking, people underplay, a lot of fans don't put enough weight on experience. And I think this Lions test is an absolute prime example. There is only, well, Owen Farrell's there now, so it's 2, but but no Elliot Daly. So it's just Elliot Daly and Tyg Furlong are and Owen Farrell, obviously now, so you've swapped Daly for Farrell, the only people that know what a normal Lions tour like this is like. Because 2021 was not a normal Lions tour. There was the whole COVID situation, which meant that they were in a bubble, in camp. There was far less traveling. These players, the vast, vast majority of these players have never experienced this. And they are used to like a Monday to Saturday test week where, you know, they'll have their big physical session on a Tuesday, analysis on a Wednesday, whatever weights they do in and around it. There's no traveling involved. They're in camp. And this is alien to most of these players. The majority of the squad weren't even in the tour 4 years ago. But that was not a normal tour. So very, very few of them know what being a Lion is about and what it's like. And I reckon it's caught some of them rabbit in the headlights, the nature of the tour. So that's why, and you know, I've been criticised for the way the selections that I would make in test teams and stuff. Everyone's got their opinion, but it's why I don't put as much weight on who played well in the last game in terms of who should start in the test match, because I think there are mitigating circumstances. When you look at the Lions breakdown work, for example, I look at that schedule and I think that explains why the Lions breakdown is not quite where it needs to be. It isn't that it's the wrong combination of players and these guys, or there's guys that aren't playing very well, or this guy's out of form. I think it might just be, think about how everyone talks about the tiny margins at the very top end. If you think about how tiny the margins are, sometimes the Lions have been getting penalised. Well, in fact, a lot of the times the Lions have been getting penalised or losing breakdown ball because players are just a metre or away from where they should be. They're just a metre further away from the player that they should be supporting. When you look at that schedule, I think that explains why a player might be 1 metre off the pace. So that's why I absolutely, when it comes to my test selection, and for what it's worth, I think Andy Farrell will be thinking this as well. When I come to my test selection, I take the Six Nations into account. I take the Autumn Nations last year into account. I take the last 4 years of rugby into account, a player's whole career into account. There is such a thing as a test match animal, and it will come out in Brisbane next weekend. And what's more, Andy Farrell has also got hours of time watching them in training, him and his coaches. Whoever they pick, they will be the right people for the job. And basing it purely on that player played well against the Waratahs, that guy had an off day against the Reds. Personally, that's kind of not how I see it. Although form is important, it's absolutely not everything. And this week, so this game Saturday, Adelaide, they play against the AUNZ team. Then they get themselves to Brisbane and Monday morning rolls around and it's a normal test week. They will, by Saturday next week, they will feel rested. They will feel it will all feel very familiar. They'll have felt like they have enough time for preparation. They'll be able to do the preparation out on the pitch rather than in a classroom. And I think we're going to see a full bore Lions team. They've won every game in Australia so far. Yes, the opposition hasn't been as strong as maybe some tours in the past have been, but they've won every game and they've got room for improvement, which is why I think people need to have at least not have a glass half empty. I'm not saying you have to say it's all sunshine and rainbows. There is definitely improvements to make. But come on, this only comes around once every 4 years. Don't be so damn negative. That would be my summary. Let me know what you think. See you on the next video.